We know that the new GMC Sierra is plenty capable for handling all of your pickup truck needs. But if you plan on spending a lot of time away from the pavement, well, you might want to check out this new AT4 model. It's got a lifted suspension, knobbly off-road tires, a locking rear differential, in other words, all the stuff you'd need for a day out in dirt, mud, and in the woods. To put it to the test, I've come out to an off-road proving ground near Marshall, Michigan, where we're going to get this thing nice and muddy and see how it does. So briefly, the Sierra AT4 package is specifically for people who want to take their GMC Sierra off-road. It starts with a 2-inch suspension lift. You've got 18-inch wheels with mud terrain tires to help us get through all that mucky stuff. Out back, there's an automatic locking rear differential. We've got 4-wheel drive, obviously, with a terrain management mode with touring and off-road modes. We've also got Rancho shock absorbers for the suspension, which help make things a little more comfortable when we come in and out of those big bumps off-road. And all told, it's all the stuff you should need if you plan to take your GMC Sierra away from the pavement. I'm going to start off with a big ditch that's meant to flex the frame and also take advantage of that 2-inch lifted ride height so I can actually get in and out of here. With the better approach and departure angles you get from having it be a little raised. Then moving on to the mud pit, this is going to show off those mud terrain tires and the rear lock. In 4 low, the automatic rear locker is going to lock the rear differential if there's more than 100 RPM difference between the left and the right rear wheels, and so far it's doing well. So our next obstacle is a rock road. We're going uphill over some pretty decent sized rocks. And the thing I'm looking for here is how comfortable we are over these impacts with those Rancho shock absorbers that make up part of the AT4 suspension. And we're not getting too beaten up when we're bouncing around over these rocks. I'm going to guess this is more severe than most GMC Sierra owners are going to go through. Another great off-roading challenge, this is a 30% grade that we're going to climb up. That's pretty steep. I probably wouldn't walk up that, but hopefully, even though it's muddy out here, it should be no challenge for us. Now on the head-up display, I've even got a little inclinometer that tells me that we're tilted upward at about 14, 15, 16 degrees now, which is certainly pretty steep, but in 4 low, no issue getting up. Easy. Now, raised suspension means that when you blast through a puddle like this, you don't really worry so much about drowning out the car. And that was a big puddle. You know, the AT4 package really does make off-roading pretty straightforward thanks to all the electronics. Like I said, in the head-up display, I can see my steering angle, roll, and inclination. I've got a 360-degree camera system, so I can see all around me different angles on the trail. It certainly makes getting this big truck around these tight trails really a little bit easier. This is the woods route, so this is maybe more like what you might be experiencing if you're actually taking your Sierra AT4 out into the countryside for a day of off-roading with your friends. But overall, despite this being a pretty big truck and the course being pretty muddy in a lot of places like here, it makes off-roading pretty straightforward. It's reasonably comfortable and there's a good amount of grip, even for going up this kind of technical hill where we've got rocks and mud and trees and some big rocks that I'm going to try and avoid as we go up. You can see on the camera here a little view of what's up ahead of me, which helps see over the big hood, and just like that, we're up and over. Easy, sort of. You can equip your Sierra AT4 with the 5.3 or 6.2 litre V8. If you do, they both can be equipped with an optional intake and exhaust to get you a little more power and that slightly more rumblier exhaust note you hear. And in the future, you're also going to be able to get the turbo diesel engine, that we don't have any details on how much power that'll make. Presumably it'll have a ton of torque, which would be great for off-roading like this. This is a pretty fun way to spend your afternoon, actually.